welcome to the channel. My name is Ashley Gomez and I make fairly inconsistent YouTube videos, but we're trying to work on that. And today is payday. I'm really big into planning and I love budgeting, and I thought it would be fun to show you how I budget my paycheck. When I first got into it, it was full-on cash envelope method where I pulled out money from the bank. I thought that worked okay, but then when the pandemic came, I found it really annoying and uncomfortable to have to go in and pull out cash. So I kind of developed a system where I'm still theoretically using a cash envelope, but it's all digital, and I basically just keep track of all my savings on paper, well, digitally on my laptop and on my iPad, versus actually having physical cash. Because for me, the actual physicality of it doesn't really keep me from overspending or underspending. It's more just knowing where my money's going, and I'm pretty good about doing that, and knowing that like each of my dollars has a job. That helps keep me organized and helps keep me budgeting towards my future goals and things like that. If anything, I've never really been much of a spender. I've always been an underspender. For whatever reason, I had a hard time spending money on myself, especially when it's your own money. But the system definitely helps me not feel as much buyer's regret because I gave that money a job, so I'll have to use it for that job, right? But if you have any tips or tricks, I'm open to hearing them. But for now, this is what works for me. And yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, well, I'm still trying to figure out how to get rid of the glare. It might just be the screensaver that I have on my iPad, but if you have any tips with that, I will take them as well. This is the budget sheet that I use to budget my things out. I kind of do all the math here, and then I translate everything over to my Notion, where I have basically like a notebook for finance stuff where I keep my inventory, how much I spent, and yeah, other things like that to keep me organized. And so my inventory is kind of where I know how much money I have in the bank and towards what category. So that's like my cash envelopes where it's there and I know how much is in each category in total. So I actually made this budget sheet. I'm working on updating it and possibly selling a few templates that I make. This is just like the first iteration, but yeah, we're working on that. For this paycheck, I got paid $874. I don't calculate the cents that was given, I just round down, and then I just leave the cents there as like a buffer. And another thing that I do to split things up is my first paycheck of the month always goes towards kind of the more important things. Like I add more money towards my fixed expenses, stuff that I know needs to get paid. And then my second paycheck of the month goes a little bit more towards my sinking funds that I'm trying to save up for. So this one's supposed to go towards my sinking. We'll see if that actually works out. I'm not sure of the proper terms, but this is kind of how I've worked it out. Basically, my fixed expenses are obviously they're fixed. I have to pay them every month. It's just, they're there. They're like your bills and things like that. And then my cash envelopes are things more that I kind of use on the regularly. And then sinking funds is stuff that I'm saving up towards for the most part. So I usually start with the things that I know that I have to pay. So I am currently living with my boyfriend's family, so I don't actually have rent and utilities anymore. But we are supposed to help pay with the utilities. We haven't paid for that yet, so I'm not sure of the amount that we're gonna owe, but my goal amount was just to have $160 ready to go just in case. And so I'm currently at $120, and I would like to finish that up so that I'm at the goal amount of $160, and then I will stop adding to this fund until I know how much I actually I'm going to owe. I just like to have that there just in case. And usually with my rent and utilities, I always like to be a month ahead. So that would put me a month ahead, assuming I ever find out how much I'm gonna owe. So I currently have 120, or I want 160, and I currently have 120. So that means I need 40 left to reach my goal. Sorry, I'm not good at math, so I will be using my calculator. So yeah, I'm gonna put 40 towards rent and utilities. For my subscriptions, I only have 2 things that I pay for with my subscriptions. Luckily, since my family shares their passwords to the other subscriptions that I use. But yeah, so I only have $8 that I actually pay for. I funded that with my first paycheck of the month, so I'm not going to fund that this paycheck. Also, I more recently made a Commentary Coffee subscription. I don't plan on paying for another month. I'm going to skip a month. So mostly because I have a lot of traveling coming up. So I'm going to skip this month and I'm not going to fund it. And I do have to remember to skip that. So maybe I'll just write skip to remind myself. And then next we have gas. So I don't currently have a car or own a car, but I've always done this even in Hawaii with Peyton. It's not my car and Peyton has never asked me for gas, but I just always like having a little bit saved up because I like to pitch in every once in a while. I just find it rude, the fact that I use up their gas when they drop me off and they never ask for gas. But you know, that way I'm at least able to offer help every once in a while. So my goal is 40 a month. I'm at 20, so I need 20 more to make the 40. Next we have our gym membership, and we get a discount for being college students, and I split the amount with Peyton, so my portion is $40, and I am at 20, so, oh wait, I was not at 20 for gas. Holy cow. Sorry, my brain. I'm at 20 for gas. I'm giving 20 for gas. And then I'm going to give 20 for my gym membership. For my food, I like to budget $300 a month for my groceries, and I fund half of that. So Peyton does the other half. So I will be putting $150 towards that. Toiletries, beauty, and health and wellness, they're all kind of for me in the same category, but like I kind of pull from beauty or I pull from health and wellness every once in a while and vice versa. But I don't know why I have the 3 instead of just 1 and putting like $60 towards it, but toiletries is more like, you know, paper towels, things like that. And then beauty I count as makeup, shampoo and conditioner, and then health and wellness are like supplements and things of that nature that I like to have, but they're interchangeable for me. I pull from whichever I need at the moment because I don't always need all of these things all of the time, but I always try to add $20 to each because then regardless, I have $60 to go towards one of these, whichever is used up, like if I'm out of shampoo, you know? I'm not sure if that makes sense. But we're just going to put 20 for all of them because that's just what I do every time. Moving on to, I'm actually going to skip this portion for just a second and go over to my credit cards. I'm going to be giving the minimum for my Discover, which is not $35 right now. It's normally $35, but I'm almost done paying this guy off. So I know that I owe $26.09 for my Discover card. So that's what I'm actually going to be putting towards that. And I forgot to mention this earlier. I actually, aside from my student loans, I'm not in a lot of debt. I'm actually really, really good with my credit cards, and I mostly just use them to build up credit. So with my credit cards, we're good. I do have to focus on my student loans in the very near future. That'll be a whole nother thing, and you can join me on that journey since I am now starting this budgeting journey, sharing my budget and things like that with the internet. But that's another story. So for my credit one, I know that it's a little bit higher right now, so I'm gonna put $50 towards that. And then the rest of these credit cards, either I don't owe anything or I don't owe anything for this month. So we're just not gonna fund that for this paycheck. So my mom's birthday is coming up and Christmas is coming up. And my goal for Christmas is to have $1,000 saved up because I have a fairly large family. And I did the math, and basically from here on out until Christmas, I need to put $50 into this fund to make my goal. And same thing for my birthdays and gifts. By the time it's my mom's birthday, if I put $50, I will have a solid amount to give towards my mom, and then everyone's birthday comes after my mom's. It's all of us all of our months are pretty close together except for one of my siblings. So we're going to put 50 and 50. Payne and I just recently used our date night. We had a lot more in our date night, but we don't have a lot right now, so I'm gonna add $20 towards that. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of go through like what I know that I want to do first and then skip around back to the things that I guess aren't as important to me at the moment and then put smaller amounts in those areas. Okay, these little dots on the side, all of the things that are in orange, that counts for one of my bank accounts because I move money back and forth between two bank accounts. But the red dots are things that I find important at this current moment. So right now I have a red dot next to travel because I'm saving up to fly to Hawaii for those that don't know, I just recently graduated from the University of Hawaii. I was on the cheer team for the past 7 years, and I want to go back to visit for homecoming because homecoming was always so special when all the alumni came, and the last 2 years with the pandemic, there wasn't as many alumni. And I just, I want to be there for my team, even though I just graduated. So, yeah, I've been saving up to fly back there. And it's going to cost me about $800. So, it's actually coming up soon. So I'm going to probably put it on my credit card. That's mostly paid down. And then I feel comfortable putting it on my credit card because I will have saved up either almost all or 90% of it already. So I'm not too stressed about putting that trip on my credit card. But I will be adding $100 towards this. I am going to focus on my car payment, my car down payment, and my home down payment. Realistically, these three, all of them should have a red dot. I may just do that really quick. Because, yeah, that's kind of my current goal right now. Or I guess I can tell you my few current goals while we're here. Obviously, my goal is to visit for homecoming, but I am saving up for to buy a new laptop because I desperately need a new laptop. I'm currently using Peyton's gaming laptop. The one that I want is $3,500, and I currently have $603 saved up, so it may be a while before I get it, but hey, we're saving. But a more important goal really is getting a car. I'm currently saving for a car down payment, but I also might be taking over one of Peyton's family's car's payment, if that makes sense. So Peyton and I will be splitting a car payment to take over a car before we buy the car that we want. So that's why the car payment has a red dot, because I want to be a month ahead when we finally do take over the car. If and when that ever happens, I do want to be a month ahead. And then obviously a home down payment because I don't want to live with family forever. The goal is to just make it a year. At the current moment, I don't have a full-time job. I only have a part-time job. So we'll try to make it a year, if not 2 years. and I'm currently in search for a full-time job. But that's besides the point. You know, we're staying positive, we're saving, we're doing good, and we're not judging. We're not judging. So for my car payment, my goal is $250 because that's half of my half. I'm at $188, so let's see how much I have left. Oops. So I'll need $62 to complete being 1 month ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that so that I can just hold off on the car payment for a while until I know for sure closer to the time that we're going to be taking over the car. And then for my car down payment, I think I want to put $50 towards it because originally Payne and I discussed that the car down payment was more important to save up for first before a home down payment. But now that we're going to be taking over a car, possibly, the car is not as important to save up for as a home down payment. So I'll put $100 towards the home down payment. So now what I do when I'm about here, when I've kind of, for the most part, filled in all the things that I want to fill in, I subtract the amount that I have and see what I have left and where I can play around with things. So we will start. My paycheck was $874. Sorry, I haven't paid for this app. And a long time ago, I accidentally deleted the calculator app from my iPad, and so I had to download this one. I don't know where to find the Apple version of the calculator app. If you know, let me know. I'm just going to quickly do the math and let you know how much I have left. Okay, so it looks like I have $75.91 left. So I think I'm going to fill the rest in with fives and see how much I have left after that. Okay, so I have 91 cents left. I'm actually just going to leave that in as a buffer, but I just realized that I put $5 towards my Canva, and I already have saved up for Canva. So I think I'm going to add $5 towards my flight home because I'm flying home. That's after this trip, I'm flying home to California for my mom's birthday. So yeah, I will subtract that from Canva because I already paid for that. But now I'm going to go through and add these all up and update my total amounts. Rent and utilities now has $160, and I won't be adding towards rent and utilities with my next paycheck unless I end up having to pay rent and utilities. At this current moment, I don't know how much it's gonna be. My subscriptions, we left it at that, so it's still at $8. My commutator, we didn't add, so it's at $9.99. My gas, we added 20, so this is now $27.69. And then my gym membership, we added 20, so this is now 40. Food, we added 150. So food is now at $224.05. And toiletries got 20, so we now have 40. Beauty now has 39. And health and wellness also has 39. My birthdays and gifts is $153.38. And my Christmas has $732. That's so exciting. I'm very, very close to my goal. And so basically with Christmas, like, I did not know about this until after I started watching a bunch of budget videos. That's so hard to say, bunch of budget. But saving up for Christmas the whole year makes so much more sense than waiting until December and being like, oh no, I have to buy a bunch of gifts for people. Like, I just don't understand why my mom and dad have never done this, or at least they didn't teach me. Um, but yeah, it is so much easier just to save up for Christmas gifts the whole year, because I only now had to start putting a larger amount, and $50 isn't terrible to pull out from each paycheck. And yeah, it's so much easier. My Black Friday, this one's more recent. I just decided that I would start putting money towards Black Friday. Um, Probably on Black Friday, I will be buying my family Christmas gifts because there's sales. But I started this Black Friday one for me. So, like, I don't really buy myself Christmas gifts, obviously. So, this Black Friday fund is for whatever amount I finally have saved up for Black Friday. I will just use that amount for me, for fun, because I deserve some fun. So, 36 plus 5 is 41. And then date night gets 20, $32. And then fun gets 5. So we're at $37.50. Clothing and wants gets 5. Trying to do math in my head. So that would be 21, right? Yeah. I shouldn't be proud that I can do 16 plus 5. But I've always been a fingers counter. I'm just very visual, so yeah. Okay, travel gets 100 plus 100 is 744, but you know, we gotta double check. Which is really exciting because most likely my round trip will be in the 800 range, and I'm almost there. Flight home is getting 10, so that'll be 456. And then tech gets 5, so that's 608. My Invisalign gets 5, so that's going 100. So I don't actually have Invisalign right now. I'm waiting until I get health insurance, and then I'm going to do Invisalign, but I'm just starting to save up for it so that eventually, I don't know how much the payment is going to be, but yeah, I'm just starting to save up for it just in case for when I finally want to do it. It's been kind of a low priority, especially because I don't have health insurance at the current moment, but it is a goal, so we have $100 towards it. I'm not going to put anything towards student loans on this paycheck, but on the next paycheck I will put a bigger amount towards that, especially because I won't have to be putting anything towards my car payment or potentially my utilities bill, because I don't know how much I'm going to be or when I'm going to be paying for that, and I'm a month ahead on my car payment, so I'll be able to put a bigger amount towards my student loans. I leave these blank because this is getting taken out. It's not being added to anything. Health insurance gets 5, so we're at 511. Oops, come on. 511.10. And since I don't currently have health insurance, this money is there strictly for just health purposes in case I get sick. The reason why I don't have it is because when I was a student athlete, I actually, the school paid for everything, any injuries that I got or sicknesses, which I'm very grateful and thankful for. But yeah, we're out of school now, so we're no longer a student athlete. We gotta start paying for things. So I don't actually have a phone bill, but I am saving up towards it for when my mom finally decides to make me pay for my phone bill. Yeah, I just figure I'd start saving up now because why not? So this is now at 90. I am very grateful and thankful that I really don't have that many things to have to pay for, so I'm able to add more things towards my goals, but I do wish I would have started this a bit earlier. I may not have had to pull out as much student loans if I would have budgeted a lot earlier in my life. Okay, next is my car payment, which we already figured out that I needed $62 left to meet my goal. So, yay! I'm at $250 and I'll be a month ahead when I eventually have to start paying for my car payment. And then my car down payment, I'm adding $50 towards it, plus 50 equals $329. And theoretically, this is times 2 because my dad is matching everything that I save. So, $329, boom. What's next? My home down payment. So this will be $293 towards a home down payment. We're far off from the goal, but hey, gotta start somewhere, I guess. And then in my emergency fund, I have $1,225.31. I would like to get this up much higher, but for now, that's how much our emergency fund is. And then for my savings, why does that say 8? I have more than 8 in my savings. I actually have, let me go to my inventory really quick. So this should actually say 433. And now it's going to be 438. Okay, so then down here, these are all my annual subscriptions or things that I have to pay annually. So I split a Thrive subscription with my sister. I split a Canva subscription with my sister. I split a Prime subscription with my boyfriend. And then I have a yearly Alaskan payment for my credit card and a yearly Skillshare payment because I just started using Skillshare and I actually really love it. I feel like it's worth the money. I've learned so much. But instead, similar to Christmas, instead of waiting until the last minute and being like, oh crap, and getting that money pulled out, I save for it all year long so that it's no big deal. I can add smaller amounts and save up for it. So my Canva is already at the amount that I have to pay, so I didn't fund it, but the other ones I added $5. So Thrive is now at 15. Prime, we just paid for the Prime, so I have to start all over, but it's now at 10. And then my yearly Alaskan, also similar. I kind of just paid more recently, so it's a little bit lower, but it's already bumped up to $40, which is fairly close to the $75, and then I won't have to worry about it all year. And then Skillshare, I just recently got the subscription, so we are at $5. Wow, that was a lot of talking. I hope you enjoyed that video. It was really fun for me to make and kind of think out loud the way that I budget. So if you enjoyed it too, give it a thumbs up, give me a comment, let me know what you think, and I will be sharing more of these, especially once I start paying down my student loans, because I cannot wait to be debt-free. Like, oh, it's gonna be great. I can't wait.